Everyone, and welcome to the stream. Yes, we are a little behind. That's okay. We're gonna do this. Everyone. Let me go to the theming job, hit the at everyone button, and yes, I do mean to tag everyone. Boop, 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 boop. All right. Yum. This looks delicious. Bop. Okay. Okay. Well. All right. Okay. Oh! Today, yes, it's Sunday. Hello. Welcome. No, I wasn't going to do Greyhawk Smurfs today. I did a whole thing on Greyhawk Smurfs, if I remember correctly. There's even a whole Blood War thing with a change cat who is familiar to a wizard who is Gargamel, who's trying to destroy all the Smurfs with the Tabaxi army because they're... I don't even think they have a war with the halflings per se. There's a friendly rivalry. It's like the elves and the dwarves, except Smurfs and halflings. But the halflings are definitely helping them out on the Extinction Front war against Gargamel. Oh yes, sorry. No, Sundays are Arcana Day. Okay, so, for those of you, also, hello, welcome. My name is Lee. Vibes today, but like in a gay boy kind of way. I don't even understand. But like, no, goodness no. Monday, nope, it is Sunday still. Or at least I hope it's Sunday, because if it's Monday, I'm supposed to be at work. But no, it's Sunday. No, wait, because Warren already texted us and said that's why I was gonna do the stream. I didn't do the stream earlier because I was like, well, I got distracted. And then I was gonna have a game 3, but then that got canceled. So I was like, all right, let's stream. Okay. But what I do on Sundays though? Sundays are for thingamabob. There's this really cool supplement that this one that we do on Sundays, which is very exciting. It's been kind of fun for us. If people really don't vibe with it, I mean, I could stop doing it, but it's so much fun, and it's the Sunday thing. So come on, do the thing. So you need it to do that. Yes, that one. So I can go like this, and I believe it's showing on your screens automatically because I had it set that way from the last time I streamed. But mind mushing. Oh yeah, setting a campaign in a pre-existing setting is mind-numbing. I understand that, because then you give to all the lore, and then your brain starts to sieve lore bits, but it's really cool. Tales of Arcana. That was supposed to be yesterday, and yesterday I read a War Corsican novel instead, and I would highly recommend Lewis McMaster Bejeweled. Amazing author. I do not know how to pronounce her name. I will type it out for you guys because highly recommend. Bejeweled, I think. This one. That is... I ended up reading one of her novels Actually, I should probably capitalize her name, because capitalization. That one. I ended up reading one of her novels instead of streaming. But I finished the Vorkosigan novel and figured out how Miles got out of the stupid traitor law because he was about to be executed by the Emperor for... And then the other guy gambled on a higher treason charge, and then Miles showed up to defend himself, proving he wasn't treasonous. It was kind of awesome. He basically founded a mercenary company on lies and chutzpah, and it worked because he was a really good leader, and space pirates. It was cool. But that is a completely separate... I should do a stream on Miles when I've read more of the books. But I finally got to finish the first one, and it's just like, yes. Actually, the first one I read was Ethan of Athos, but, oh, and then I read Cordelia's Honor, but that doesn't focus on Miles. But this particular book by Matt Kneissel. Yes, the bag. I'm working on it. I know I lost my phone, and I had a whole, thing where this guy was... He was being overprotective big brother when, and then she had to ask about the succubus thing because that readers will want to know. And don't worry. That's why I asked you for a link to the forum so I could do it, and then didn't do it because I was reading Vorkosigan novels. But I know. Oh, I know. Okay. Boom, 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 boom. Legal credits. Matt Kneissel. Lead developer and head writer and just generally cool guy. Wrote this particular book, which is we're gonna focus on today because it's really fun. You guys, it's awesome sauce. I know most of you have seen it, but for those of you who haven't, it gets weird. It's amazing lore, and we have a whole list of notes. Just here, let me pull up the notes. So there is an alien invasion. The second alien invasion, mind you. Not even the first alien invasion, because the first alien invasion was weird. The second alien invasion, and then Genesis has I figured out why the angels like Genesis so much, though. We should put that in here. Hang on my notes on the places. There's a lot of lore scattered throughout and woven through, but we did figure out... I'll show you my notes. Nope, not that one. This one. Beautiful. Okay, the notes. Outpost 2 destroyed. The question is, did they go to other planets in the system, though? That did not get answered. Yeah, why didn't anyone from in-system invade Genesis before that? That's an interesting question, though. Okay, well, Clearly had some. Hang on, that... Okay, right, the angels, yes, the invaders for Genesis, the, celestial alignment. Or did the celestial alignment form, or the celestial, unless the celestial alignment was founded, the celestial alignment came by after the Sky War, maybe as a result of having been invaded, because the angels probably didn't fight on their side, because the angels were busy protecting Genesis because of its tie to the World Core. Oh, okay, so, those of you who don't understand the lore, it's gonna make... It doesn't really make sense anyway, but I'll try to make more sense out of it. It's just as weird in context, as they say. So, the planet Genesis is a planet in a planet of... I think it's 34 systems, all named after Bible books, that have, the Bible, the story, yes, all these planets, all of them are inhabited, apparently, or at least a large chunk of them, and they all orbit the sun, and a lot of them are livable. Genesis is the closest one to the sun, and still is in the habitable zone because magic. It also has a tap into the essence core, which is the source of all light and magic in this universe, is the essence core, and Genesis has direct tap right into it. And portals to a bunch of other demi-planes and other types of alternate dimensions and stuff. funny story with that. So the creator, Pantheons, what was I gonna say about the creator? So basically, the first time that the chosen ones, who were the first aliens, they built the Waygates. They were ancient, and then they just left and never did anything again. Then life developed on Genesis naturally. I think the aliens kind of helped it along on other ones, but the Celestial Alignments are a group of most of the other planets in the system who have come together and formed a union, and they want to invade Genesis. But they can't invade Genesis because there's a firmament, which is a around Genesis and its moons, one of which is Barsoom, because they reference everything. Anyway, it is a giant glass box around this planet that keeps anyone from getting in. It was put up after the second alien invasion. There were two. First, the chosen one showed up, built the Waygates, and then disappeared. Second one was the invaders. They're from Escobar. Their home planet was destroyed. It was a twin planet, and so it says they were twin planets, right? It doesn't specify if that was the name for the two or just for the one, and if but anyway, their planet was destroyed. They sent ships to Genesis, tried to take it over. Angels fought on the side of Genesis. They won. A lot of the angels were trapped, not the angels. They were kept out. That's a whole separate story with after the betrayal and the flood and a lot of biblical bullshit that happened. The angel Cassiel did try to invade again after the firmament was put up, and he did it by possessing elves. And then it backfired, and the elves rose up against him. The ones he possessed rose up from within, and it's an intensive thing. It got ugly. That was the second God War, I think. Yes, there's a lot of lore, and I didn't make any of this up. Like, this guy came up with all of this, and it's just... So I've been picking through it and pulling the little bits of lore out bit by bit as we go through. This is just scratching the surface of the big stuff. Oh, but the reason I was taking notes. Yes, notes was what I was taking. Unless the firmament was put up, the Alliance came together. I wonder, hang on a second. Unless the Alliance came together after the firmament. The Moon Elves, I think they are. Either the Space Elves or the Moon Elves. Actually have a beat on that. Let's, hang on. We're gonna look up the Space Elves and actually check something real quick. Yes, this is an actual, alright, so if we go to here, the Elves, this is where you get all the lore with a lot of the lores in Elves, because they got, yes, these are all playable races, for you could do characters for, and they have, a lot of them have interesting sub things. Some of them are, which are more interesting than the ones themselves, and then they have all sorts of different, questions about the methodology of how magic works and stuff, and all this stuff. It's quite fascinating, rather. And fictional Gollum, why did the mages find the need to hide when magic is common everyday use in other things, like sorcerers? They have the same theory as sorcerers. There's no reason for them to hide, except they do hide. They have a whole secret society that they hide from everyone else, and it's like, why when magic is commonplace? If you wanted to rip off J.K. Rowling, Turf Bitch deserved it. I will say that. So, you know what? Although it didn't make sense when she did it either, and people picked that apart too in our youth. You guys made me say, what the heck's a Thark? Sorry, I'm very distracted. Okay, the first thing we're gonna do is go to Elves Space, which is an E. And then we're gonna, unless any of these look really interesting to any of you and you want to go a completely different direction, in which case I'm not Space Elves. Okay, so 148. There's also the Planewalker Orcs, I think, have some connection to the outer moons. All right. To stay bound to the earth and trees when there was so much beyond our planet was not the most pragmatic course of action. Lindrea, Space Elf Philosopher. That's kind of what they look like. That's the vibe for guys. Nicole Cardiff drew the Space Elves. I love how they credit each illustrator under the specific illustrations they did. I love it. Space Elves are high elves who left the forest of Genesis to live on its moons and travel the solar system. They're driven by science and reason, and their society values pragmatism above all else. Space elves live aesthetic lifestyles, rarely owning possessions and seeking to eliminate all distractions from their pursuit of new knowledge. They're fascinated by other societies and seek to connect to new races whenever possible. Contact. I know, but that's why I love it so much. It doesn't make a lot of sense, but it's really cool. A vibe. I mean, if you guys really hate it, I'll stop doing it, but I love the Sunday streams. That's an interesting question. I backed it on Kickstarter, so I backed it on Kickstarter, so let me... Hang on a second. I put the link on the Discord to the Majiggy website. Like, give me a second. I will find it for you. I will find this information, and then we're going to go back to Space Elves, because I actually am curious about this, and I want to know... No, just go here. It's fine. Okay, this one, though, we go to... $25 for the PDF. More if you want the actual you can buy hard copies. And it gives you a lot. Like, you can ignore all of the lore and still have all sorts of really cool playable races. $25 isn't necessarily unreasonable for the PDF, considering it's 200 playable races, all this lore and history. The illustrations are great. I mean, they custom did the art for each of them. I think... Speak concisely and often come up as snippy or rude. Basically, they're kind of Vulcan-y, but let me... yes. Genesis, the planet closest to the sun in the Helios system. This is the lore bit. Found in the Squid Squirrel Galaxy. The next closest planet is Exodus, followed by Leviticus in Numbers. In total, there are 65 other planets in the system, with Jude being the farthest from the sun, though heretical astronomers claim there is a planet even farther away. There's an expansive asteroid belt between the planets of Malachi and Matthew, though thought to be debris from the debris of destroyed planets. All these worlds have diverse ecosystems and sentient beings. Yeah, all of them. See? 65... I think I could run a campaign. So, the key to running a campaign with this is the same one which advice that Robert gave me when I was trying to get them all to run a Warhammer 40k campaign, and none of them knew anything about Warhammer 40k, which is cool it with the lore. Don't lore dump. I love lore dumping, though. That's why I do lore dumping on stream. Also, hi, everyone. Apparently, we have lots of new friends and followers, so hello, welcome. My name is Lee, and, Tracy followed. If you're the Tracy I think you am, hi. If you're a different Tracy, hi as well. Welcome. Say hi in the chat. Always, good to have you. What was I gonna say? Player's handbook. Oh, yes. The key to doing a stream, based on this would be to pick one small subsection of lore, which is probably not the space lore, because even though the space lore is the most interesting because it makes the least sense, and, what was I gonna say? Oh, yes. Yes. To pick the space lore, or to pick one small subsection of it and then have that focused in. Like, maybe a mafia, like a local mafia is going against a development company trying to oust a nest of fairy dragons because they want to redevelop the property. Like, that's an understandable conflict. It brings in some of the cool stuff from the world, and you could do, some fun stuff with it without completely lore dumping too much of the intensive, plain old systems. But it still could be fun. That was that was just something I came up with off the top of my head. It could be, or you could do Sweet Home. Hello! Hi! Welcome! Yeah, it could be cool to run a campaign using it. Hey, I always appreciate lurks. I think I even have, like, a little Majiggy what's-it for... I do. No, I don't. Okay, now I have to go. Although that reminds me that my thingamabobs aren't working, which is good. Streamlabs, that's the one. Alright, but in any case, I appreciate the lurk. But what I was going to do was, so Matthew and Malachi and Matthew, let's see. Space elves were able to travel beyond Genesis and its moons before the firmament was created after the Sky War, though they still need proper conditions to perform the Tan Volar ritual. Interesting. So you have an hour meditation and you only need to sleep for 4 hours. So it's not like the reverie where you have 4 hours of meditation. You have an hour of meditation and 4 hours of sleep. Interesting. Here we go. This should... I do not know if you get mad if you call them spells. You'd have to ask one of them. Alright. Commands. Just checking. Nope, they seem to all be on. Alright. Maybe I'm just spelling lurk wrong. Alright. Yes, alien is a language. I think, from what I'd gathered, that alien is a common tongue spoken. So, that's the thing about this, is because it was designed as a species guide, not a lore guide, it spreads the lore out, sprinkles a little bit here, a little bit there, and then you're like, well, okay, why? Okay. Mm-hmm. Uh-huh. Alright, so they used the Waygate to travel the Red Moon Barsoon, where they built the first cities. In addition to discovering other Waygates, they used a combination of magic and technology to create citadel ships to travel between the moons. Modern age, space elves rarely come to Genesis, preoccupied with their mooner threats. They might travel to Arcana looking for chosen technology or other relics, or simply to learn about other cultures. Space elves rarely worship gods, but devote themselves to the philosophy of pragmatism or scientific discipline, as if it were a religion. Space elves monitor the Solstice Agreement, an oppressive multi-planet government within Genesis' system. The alignment, the celestial alignment, fears the magical aptitude of Genesians and desire to have its status as a closed planet revoked so it can be conquered. They want the angels to take away the filament. So here's... settled on the moons, they discovered that their reckless experimentation with essence and arcane magic caused them to be sickened by the ambient cosmic magic and radiation. To purge themselves of the illness, they participated in Tan Valar, a meditative ritual on the Red Moon of Barsoon, whose deeper caves absorbed the contamination from their bodies. Other planets throughout the system have areas similar to Barsoon's cave. So they need... they have to have a proper place to perform the ritual, or they'll be overrun with cosmic radiation. But here's... so the celestial alignment. I'm pretty sure alien is probably like a common tongue pidgin created by the celestial alignment. I'm almost certain, because if alien is a language, right? And the celestial alignment is... yeah, other races as well. Hang on, let me go. Usually we just go to random races I haven't done yet, but now we're doing a review day, I guess. I don't expect you guys all to remember all of this all the time. But if you learn, 446, right? If I remember correctly. Alien race thought to be celestial guardians of space, much as aliens protect the sky, though they're not from a higher realm. They have ambient energy shields and the ability to fly, fire energy pulses, and warp warp certain distances. Though they're not of this world, they protect their adopted homeworld from natural disaster and extraterrestrial threats. Languages. Common and alien, including all unique alien languages of other alien races. Okay. So, I'm guessing, alien is probably like a mixed up pigeon tongue of all of the celestial alignments group that they... It's probably like a mix of all of them. All those planets probably have all these cultures. Oh, wow. Okay. It's very interesting. Were conceived of a race with the powers that most commonly associated with spaceships in popular science fiction, television, and movies. Interesting. Humanoid with bizarre forms. Their bodies appear as insectoid nature, with what looks like exposed muscle and ligaments on their arms and legs. Exoskeletal armor covers their torsos. Each has 6 eyes and has a unique head that accommodates their uniquely shaped brain. Their heads might be finned or have other unique forms. Their culture has no concept of names, but many use those given to them by astronomers who track their movements from the surface of Genesis. Voyagers are serene beings. Though they plan for the worst, they live in the moment, seeing thought of the future as distraction. They are alien but have little contact with other alien beings, such as invaders and Zenari, though they understand their language. They mostly interact with races native to Genesis' moon, such as Thark, and beings who operate the Silver Satellite, such as Space Elves, Faceless, and some angels. So they're... Oh, Thark is probably... Oh, hang on. I know where Tharks come from. Because if you read through this book... a Sasquatch? Let's see. Actually, there is a Sasquatch race, and actually they have an important role in the... They get mentioned in other... Naka. Interesting. Another one of the frozen north. I think they probably the Walrus, right, are in the frozen north, and the Vikingers, and there's a whole host of ones in the frozen north, and they have their own alignment, and there's Midgard City up there. But Sasquatch, hang on, is 364. There is an entire Sasquatch race, and we are going to look into it because I haven't actually gotten to this one yet. Ooh. It's cool art. Damien Mamoliti. Interesting. Okay. We may walk around among mortals from time to time, but we must not let others learn of our civilization. Should the Dominion or even the well-meaning Empire learn our magic and technology, we would not be able to fight back, regardless of how advanced we may be. Bigfoot, the Archdruid. Sasquatches value their seclusion, rarely leaving their dense forest homes. They excel at hiding from sight and remaining silent, despite their hulking forms. Hidden in nature. Sasquatches are large humanoids sharing a common ancestor with humans and apes. They have heavy frames covered in fur that is typically black, brown, or tan. We'll get to the languages, I promise. Yeah, my commands aren't working. So that's fun. They are known for their large feet, which leave deep tracks. They speak like humans with deeper voices, though they might use loud or high-pitched whoops to communicate with other Sasquatches who are far away. Sasquatches employ a complex code of knocks for secret speech when other races are around. They can move quickly despite their large bodies and cumbersome gait. Sasquatches are kind, gentle souls who wish to maintain the balance between nature and civilization. They are accustomed to forest races such as elves and tree squids, but might consider mechanical beings such as robots and androids to be threats to nature. The largest Sasquatch territory is Saskatchewan. Sorry, of course it is. Home to the Magitechnology Advanced Sasquatch City. In this region, like Magitechnologically Advanced Sasquatch City. In this region, like other Sasquatch enclaves, is magically obscured, rarely interact with the wider world, though they monitor threats to the natural order. Their cryptologists were the first to notice possible corruption in the realm of Gaia, which ultimately manifested as the Savage Wilds and the villainous Thorn Queen. Despite the terrible danger this presents, the Council's wishes to remain hidden. Some Sasquatches are selected by their enclave to travel the world and be on the lookout for threats to their society. Though they are meant to stay hidden, some have made contact with other cultures, which is forbidden. Bigfoot is the most well-known Sasquatch, and others believe he is the last of his kind. He has been a member of the Gathering and the Emerald Ring, even helping Grigori Engvald and the Magic Authority obscure endangered species. He is also posed as a skyship smuggler. His brother Lucifer is a warlock who spreads misinformation about their kind, even going so far as to bury fake artifacts and fossils to trick archaeologists. Lucifer believes Sasquatches should leave seclusion and conquer Arcana. Wow. Okay. Interesting. And then we, of course, have the nitty-gritty of how to play as a Sasquatch, which you can do. That's the cool thing about this book is they have... Oh, and then the variants. The variants don't have as much lore, but they have some interesting, like, implications in the lore. Strength increases by 2, and your wisdom and score increases by 1. Mature like human, but can live for several centuries. Benevolent and generous. They're willing to help others to a great cost themselves. However, they avoid exposing themselves to their secret home's discovery. Typical Sasquatch is neutral good. Legendary. Rarity is legendary. Sasquatches avoid detection and keep their own enclaves. Sasquatch is over 7 feet tall and weighs 300 or more pounds. Size is medium. Base walking speed 30 feet. Proficiency in the survival and stealth skills. In addition, you can attempt to hide when only lightly obscured by natural phenomena or terrain, such as foliage, shadows, heavy precipitation, mist, and so on. You can also do so with any cover, even if that cover is too small to completely conceal your body. Proficiency in the nature and survival skills. So nature, survival, and stealth. Obscuration. Once you reach 3rd level, you can cast Pass Without a Trace once per day. Upon attaining 5th level, you can cast Invisibility once per day, but you can only target yourself. Wisdom is the spellcasting modifier for the spells, and you need no material components. Speak, Read, and Write Common and Wildkin. Most Sasquatches learn Sylvan if they can. See? Not Alien. Common and Wildkin. Sig was asking if Sasquatch had language alien, which they do not. A lot of races do. Apparently there are other alien-based races. The Greys come to mind as an alien-based race. They came with the invaders. They came as part of the Gob Court, I believe. No, the Fey Court. Let's see. You can choose to place a variant Sasquatch species with the following changes. Orang Pendek. You have orange or reddish fur and storing close to 8 feet tall. Your strength score still increases by 2, but rather than increase in wisdom, you have the mighty trait from the Krampus race in the book. You also speak, read, and write monstrous. Orang Pendek are legendary and often neutral evil. Okay. See, this is where, like, okay, there's this whole evil, like, okay. Skunk Squatch. You have red eyes and your fur is matted with mud and feces. Instead of the normal racial adjustments, your strength and constitution scores each increase by 1. You gain no increase to wisdom, and you have the garbage stench trait from Krampus race in this book. Skunk Scotches are legendary and often chaotic neutral. Yeti. You have goat horns and white fur. Instead of the normal racial adjustments, your strength and constitution each increase by 1, and you gain no wisdom increase, and you have resistance to cold damage. You also speak, read, and write glacial. Yetis are legendary and often neutral. Yowie. You have large fangs. Instead of the normal racial adjustments, your strength and constitution score each increase by 1. You gain no increase in wisdom, and you have bite trait from the Canid race in the book. And you have the restful reprieve trait from the elf race in this book. You also speak, read, and write astral. Legendary and often neutral. See, I want lore on them. Like, the variants, that's the thing about this, is, okay, there's over 200 playable races with the whole stat adjustments and everything, and then they have these other little variant ones that are just, like, and the lore, they have, like, all the lore on the main ones, but then the variant ones, they don't have any lore, and they have, like, 16 different types of lore that are just weird humans, and are actually specifically described as being humans that change somehow, and it's just, sorry. I don't mean to rant. Boom. But we're gonna put this. Okay. Catabri there. That's an important question. That goes with this one. No. This goes here. Um, are the other variants just taxologically similar, or do they come from a common ancestor? And have divergent. I mean, okay, so let's see. Hang on. Oh, hi, Roxafarius. Welcome. Let's see. Astral. I wonder what astral and legendary and often neutral good. That's interesting. Okay, so Yeti are northern variant, right? Are skunk squatches just like so orang pendek are bigger, and they probably have a different habitat. I would guess southern jungles, but that's just based on have divergent evolution based on climate. Is skunk squatch are skunk squatches just a random mutation, like that gets thrown out every once in a while, like a throwback gene, random mutation / throwback gene, like. I don't know. Let me try one more thing. I just want to check something. No? My commands aren't working. Okay, well. That's a thing. Okay, so do orang pendek live in the southern jungles? I mean, I would put them there, but as a story master, but all right. Okay, that just needs to. Okay. What was I gonna do? Oh yes, I was gonna keep streaming. That's what I was gonna do. All right. Let me see. All right, so that's Sasquatch. What? Ooh, satyr. With the goat legs. Also, I want to know what the deal is with Yowie. Like, astral. That's a really interesting. Like, let me check something real quick. Oh, that's a duck. Okay, wait. Sarah. Okay. You know what? let's go here. Let's start with this. That's what I usually do anyway. For those of you who are not familiar with the Arcana streams and the Sunday, what I usually do is start with one, what's the technical term? Whole thing. Start with one race and then either chase lore to the other ones and other interesting things, or go through. Let me possibly. Let me see. Whoa. Pirates. Pukas. QR. I'm gonna pick QRS. Yes, hang on. Ramen. Ratten. Okay, so the Rattans are. Are like Skaven, but they're not the scary ones that come from. There's a whole. There's a whole thing about that. All right, why don't we start with Sarah? Because crypto historian. The evidence of their existence can be seen throughout history, from monuments to entire settlements. So we know they were once real. The true mystery of the Sarah is where they went, why they did so, and if they still live today. Abdul Azhered, crypto historian. Sarah are divine beings who resemble humans with duck heads. They are born from Ra, the chief god of the Enid pantheon. Sarah drain life from other beings, causing their victims to age. Each Sarah poses as a different god, deceiving their followers. Sarah have the bodies of typical humans of any ethnicity, with the heads of any duck species. The duck head can be human-like hair, which is ornately fashioned. Sarahs are vain, so they dress in the finest clothes, use makeup, and wear jewelry if able. Despite their duck heads, they have deep booming voices that assist in their divine deception. They pose as existing gods of various cultures, such as Odin, Amaterasu, Zeus, or Venus. Shira are arrogant, having posed as gods so long that they believe their lies. Oh, they sound like, the, Star Trek, or not Star Trek, Stargate, that's the one. The Goa'uld. They actually sound a lot like the Goa'uld, except they have their own bodies. They think others are beneath them, though many less powerful Sarai are not so antagonistic toward mortals. Were a Rhino race before the God Wars. They were originally meant to attend demigods, draining and supplying life force to alter their master's age and appearance. After the gods left the mortal plane following the cataclysm that created the myriad mortal realms, the Sarah saw an opportunity to rise in power. They took advanced magical relics left by other pantheons, enslaving and transplanting humans to some newly formed mortal realms. Yep. That's a quality. Each Sarah commanded a cluster of these linked together by waygates. Each such realm was designed to be a facsimile of territories of the pantheon they sought to emulate, though the names might have changed to Stuttgart instead of Asgard. Over time, the Sarah became resentful of their kin, sparking war between the realms that continued to escalate. Some human livestock are trained as duck guards, who wear ceremonial duck-shaped helmets and serve as soldiers and bodyguards. The Wati are humans who no longer believe the Sarah's divinity and work to overthrow them. There are! This is like the Goa'uld, but as ducks. You know what? It makes sense. It doesn't, but it actually kind of does. Small group of Sarah no longer wish to deceive mortals and prefer to drain small portions of life force from willing volunteers. Led by a Sarah named Menitos, they strive to topple their kin and freely enslave. They're called Renyard after the wild lord, since foxes are natural predators of ducks. Pretty cool. So I'm guessing you're playing as one of them. 2 different ability scores of your choice increased by 1. Sarah age at an accelerated rate, reaching adulthood in a few years. After that, they are ageless. Believe they are destined to rule all over other mortals. They are often lawful evil or neutral evil. Mythical. While the mortal planes are littered with Sarah ruins, monuments, and statues, few people believe they were even real, let alone alive in other mortal realms. So the mortal plane is the main one, and then other mortal realms are just like offshoot ones that got mixed up in the whole thingy. Similar builds to humans, size is medium, walking speed 30 feet, Dark vision. You can see in dim light within 60 feet of you as for bright light, and darkness within the same range as for dim light. Absent even dim light, the vision is monochromatic. Heritage celestial. You are human, but you are considered to be celestial whenever it is detrimental to you. I love that little heritage thing. Like, yeah, it makes sense. As an action, you can make a melee spell attack, adding your proficiency bonus plus your highest ability modifier. On a hit, you deal 1d4 radiant damage, ripping a small portion of the target's spirit away. The target's hit point maximum is reduced by the amount of damage it takes, not counting any vulnerability it has to radiant damage. This reduction lasts until the target finishes the long rest. The target dies if this effect reduces its hit point maximum to 0. The rate's damage increases by d4 when you reach 5th level, 11th level, and 17th level. Each successful use of this trait to deal damage counts as half your food and water requirement for the day. If you fail to successfully use this trait for a given day, you can gain no more than half your daily requirement of food and water no matter how much you eat or drink. So you're still on starvation rations because you need to have at least a little bit. You can add your proficiency bonus to saving throws against disease, necrotic damage. I wonder if you have to make the to hit roll if it's a willing participant for spirit feed, because you need it to survive, so you're going to have to. Add proficiency bonus to saving throws against disease, necrotic damage, poison damage, and being poisoned. You can also add this bonus to saving throws against gaining exhaustion, unless failing to use your spirit feed trait triggers that saving throw. If you can't already apply your proficiency bonus to such a saving throw, your proficiency bonus is doubled for this purpose. Speak, read, and write Common, Celestial, and Arcana. You can speak, read, and write the languages associated with the god you impersonate. Variant. Croatoan. Ooh. Choose to play a variant species with the following changes. You're a human with a curse metaphysically similar to the curse of vampirism. Dang! You feed on radiance, a unique quality that signifies relevance to the narrative of the campaign world, though the Croatoan are unaware of this consequence. Though born from humans, you are ageless, you lack heritage celestial trait. Targets of your spirit feed are less likely to retain in the narrative of your campaign. This effect is at the SM's discretion. You speak, read, and write Common. Choose other languages in which you have similar fluency. Croatoan are unknown and often lawful evil. Dang, okay. See, that's a whole, like, that's what I'm talking about. The variants just punishing you. You're like, whoa, that is way cool. Like, dang, you know? Oof. Very cool. Kind of want to play with Croatoan. That sounds fun. Okay. Question is, are any of the Sabra realms connected to the mortal realms? And if so, like, okay, so the Cataclysm, right? They took advantage of the Cataclysm, taking advantage of the Waygates. They definitely sound like the Guald, but in duck form, which is kind of cool. I mean, they already borrowed so much little bits and pieces of everything and just smushed them all together, and that is the smushing that something this has created. This. Okay, but so can okay, so Croatoans feed on radiance. If so, does that mean that by reverse, anyone that when they feed on is bound to show up as an NPC in some campaign or other, because that is how it like, does that give them does it, like, and does that then increase their radiance? Because if they've been fed on by Croatoan, they must have had some radiance, so then would that have then increased their own radiance? Like, that's a meta thing. You could go down endless rabbit holes with that. Does that increase their radiance? Yeah, like one of the deities in the lore actually knows he's a fictional deity in a created world, and that bugs him. which is kind of cool. It's very meta. Some of the areas of this are very meta. But interesting. How often do Sora show up on the mortal plane? And how accessible are these other mortal realms? Do any of the Stargates from Genesis go there? I mean, the Waygates. Sorry, any of the because there are Waygates that people use to get around Genesis. In fact, I think the Sun Vampires control a Waygate. No, it's the one founded by the whatever the alliance is that's founded by Frankenstein, and then the guy was founded by Victor Frankenstein. This world's version of Victor Frankenstein. The one that was founded by him, the Gothic Alliance, I think they have control of a Waygate, or several Waygates, and I think the Sun Vampires do as well. I think so. Yeah, they have. There are Waygates on Genesis. The question then is, my question is, do any of the Waygates on Genesis lead to Saura's realms? And since do any of the gods ever show up? Darkguard, the hidden metahuman land east of Jotunheim. I mean, if you want to put it there, go for it. I'm not gonna stop you. Since the gods left, the gods, the actual gods they're impersonating exist. They're impersonating exist. Does that make their impersonations harder? Or are the gods so staying out of the mortal realm that they just don't care? All right, that's an interesting question. We could just. All right, I'm just checking. All right. Yeah, I know. It's the duck head. You expect the duck feet too, but the whole body is, even the feet are human. The Romulan. We have much work to return the Imperium to the majesty of antiquity. Many territories refuse the benefits our governs. Fortunately, our military can be quite diplomatic. Pontus Aurelius, Romulan Marine. The Romulans are a race of humans with devilish ancestry, distinguishable from humans by the green horns that line the sides of their head, giving the appearance of laurel wreaths. They are the ruling class of the Romulan Imperium, which strives to return to its empire to its former glory. Trained in politics and military theory, Romulans are cunning adversaries. The only physical difference between Romulan and typical humans is the green horns on their head. Romulans can present as any human ethnicity. They are mostly light-skinned with black and brown hair, which they wear short. Unless they are spies, Romulans proudly wear fashion of the Imperium and show off their military rank, if they have one. They are trained in politics and can deliver powerful speeches. Names include Antonia, Octavius, Valentina, and Cassius. Romulans can be pompous and arrogant, believing their pantheon dictates They're the true rulers of the world. They bear ill will toward those who worship the Olympian gods, which they believe are false deities. Not all Romulans subscribe to the idea and are more likely to deviate from it if they adventure. The Romulan Imperium is mostly made up of human citizens and other common races. She looks like an Octavia. The Imperium predates the Empire and other notable Arcanan nations. Interesting. We got side note drama. Sorry. I might not be able to continue the stream for long, but we'll keep going for a little. It was founded by the Romulans, mortal descendants of the archdevil Romulus, though they believe they were created by Jupiter and have their own pantheon. Romulans used their knowledge of political and military tactics to subjugate humans and other races around the Iona subcontinental region. The Imperium spread its influence across Arcana, capturing Caesarea and conquering other cultures that opposed them. While they did establish roads and chart waygates in their nation, their power waned after formation of the Empire, which welcomed smaller tribes and nations instead of subjugating them. CNC. Sorry. Sig is telling jokes in the chat. The Imperium spread. Sorry, I'm alive. Though they present the image of power and authority in the modern age, it is evident that all the Romulan nation continues to collapse. It is now controls only a tenth of the territory it once held and faces threat of both domestic and foreign. So the Empire is interesting because it freaking started out as this whole peace-loving thing, and then they kind of got hardcore and subjugated. And then there's, of course, the Dominion, which has no lore and it's just a counterpart. Oh, they created the Verge. I remember that. That was I believe that was a Dominion experiment gone haywire, if I remember correctly. Now controls in the tenth of the territory. Also, the thing about this is that the book refuses to do maps, because they said that the story's in people's heads, and once you create a map, you contain, like, your Arcana is yours to freely create as you will, so having a map would quash that. But if they're going to reference all these specific places, they should draw a map, and then you can tweak the map as needed. Like, they don't trust us not to tweak the map. It would be really helpful to have a freaking map, you know? Even Brancalonia has a map, and it's specifically supposed to be ridiculous. And they have a map. Sorry. All the Romulan nations collapse. Imperium does command a sizable army, Romulan legions, led by a legate who could defeat the Empire and Dominion forces in battle. Romulan legions, each led by a legate, could defeat Empire and Dominion forces in battle. These legates have some autonomy, and a few have enacted their own schemes to regain the Imperium's glory. One has attempted to colonize the afterlife. Well, you know, in this world, that actually makes sense. Another has led her forces alongside Mars to conquer the moon of Barsoom, which they have renamed in his honor. This legion utilizes power suits and advanced tech, with marines similar to the Empire's Sky Command. Yeah, basically. To increase their power, the Imperium has allied with Spartans of Intos, whose god Ares has been absent of late. Sector Tyrannus is the intelligence division of the Imperium and sends out spies to sabotage other countries. Romulan spies sometimes use glamour magic to disguise their horns. Or hats. No, they didn't. The Romulans were an offshoot in Star Trek lore. This is my nerdy lore dump. Star Trek, lore. Romulans were an offshoot of Vulcans who, got so, they didn't believe in the whole emotion regulating meditation BS. So they were like, we're gonna do it. So they flew out into space, and they conquered the planet Remus. I remember this. They conquered the planet Remus and made it their homeworld, and then they grew with this powerful empire, and then they opposed the Vulcans centuries later after they kind of evolved a little bit, but like not really. They were still mostly the same species, more or less. Romulans love competition. They are known for their famous Colosseum that is so large it can be flooded to host naval battles. They host less popular Romulan games meant to rival the Olympian Games, but only a few nations attend. Chariot race is the most popular competition. Each racer stands or sits in a two-wheeled carriage pulled by two horses. Over time, the steeds became more exotic, with some racers taming dire manticores or wild pegasi. In the modern era, chariots have become technologically and magically advanced, with hovering carriages that are pulled by mechanical engines, magical beasts, or animate constructs. Some of these races are aerial. The chariot races take place in hippodromes, now found across Arcana, where competitors have to contend with volatile environments. Chariot racing circuits can have their own rules, which only the most skilled can survive. So I think that chariot racing probably got past this. Let's see what we got for 2 different ability scores of your choice increased by 1. Age as humans do. Value power, most are lawful evil. Uncommon. Romulans are common within the territories of the Romulan Imperium and in areas they seek to conquer, which is most of Arcana. Similar to humans, size is medium. Speed. Walking speed is 30 feet. Saz. Which are similar to the Hunger Games. They call the event... Oh, the Saras, which are similar to Hunger Games. They call the event Duck Hunt. Oh. I'm sure the Saras have fun games, and maybe they're called Duck Hunt. I don't know. Perhaps. You can see... Oh, they have dark vision. Oh, you get 1 feat. So it's sort of like variant human, but you get dark vision and skill proficiency. Arcana and common, which you call Romulan. You can see in dim light within you 30 feet as if it were bright light, and in darkness within the same range as if it were dim light. Absent of dim light, your vision is monochromatic. So basically, you have dark vision. Humans with dark vision. Variant human. Oh, but you are humanoid, but you are considered to be a fiend whenever it is detrimental for you. In addition, you meet the tiefling prerequisite for racial feats. Cool. Nicole Cardiff did the illustrations. Pretty cool. Alright, I am falling apart. I hate to end the stream so early, but I'm crashing hard. Thank you all for coming to the stream, though. Is Jay streaming tonight? Is someone cool streaming? Because I really hope someone cool is streaming we can raid into. I do appreciate all of you coming, hang out with me, and if Brotherhood of the Dice is streaming, they do Dungeons & Dragons. They're fun. Also, side note for viewers, if you want to follow, highly encouraged. Subscribing would be nice, but no pressure, because I know money is the thing, and I don't expect you to book me up. I know a lot of people are cross-streaming, and it's very frustrating for people who want to watch all the streams and support everyone. But let's see. So, Discord, right. So if you guys like and want to hang out with me between streams, comment Arcana stuff, show off your own creative work, vibe, talk about the Smurfian War and why the halflings hate the Smurfs or don't. No, I'm not sure there's intensive racial hatred, but never. Anyway, if you want to come hang out on the Discord, the link is there. The Smurfian Blood War. There's a whole section on the channel about the Smurfian Blood War that I posted the depiction Smurfs on Greyhawk to cover, and I should probably put more details and fun stuff in the Discord server. There was, but yeah. If you want notes on the Smurfian War, there's an episode on it, which is on YouTube, and is linked in the Smurf section of the Discord server, which we have. Anyway, I will, and the Morris I stream some Saturday soon. I cannot promise next Saturday. I can't plan my life that far ahead, but, Marathi is next time I stream on a Saturday, it will be a Marathi stream. Who's a character from, Warhammer Fantasy, who apparently is kind of badass. They didn't defeat the halflings of Greyhawk. The halflings, they had another war with the halflings probably, and that ended in a stalemate, and there's just a bit of rivalry now. This is the one where the wizard was trying to use Smurf blood to make potions, so he sicked his Tabaxi army and changed Cat Familiar on them. Duh. Remember? We established this. Anyway, yeah, we have this as a going thing. Also, if you like jewelry, fun little aside, if you like jewelry, there's a company called Relentless Rebels. They make really cool stuff, and you can use my secret code to get 20% off. So, you know, you get cool stuff, I get a little kickback, you get extra, you know. If you don't want to, that's fine. If you're not into jewelry, don't feel compelled to buy it. But, you know, if you like cool jewelry, you get a little discount. So, can hook you up with that. Monday morning is Greyhawk Day. Okay, yes, it does take a long time to ship because they're in Europe. And if you're not in Europe and things take time and COVID is shipping. But it's worth the wait, I think. You know, that's just me, though. Don't expect fast delivery. Plan for a slow delivery, but reasonable prices, and it's good quality. So, wait it out. But yes, it does take a long time if you're not in Europe. Although if you are in Europe, it probably is cheap. And they don't charge extra for shipping. They adjust the cost of the jewelry to cover shipping instead of charging extra for shipping, which I really appreciate. And Brotherhood of the Dice is playing Dungeons and Dragons. The Initiative Order is also playing, though. Why don't we go Brotherhood of the Dice? They're a group of fun peeps. A couple of them pop in to the stream from time to time to say hi. We're just going to raid them, go say hi, share the love. You know, love you guys lots, and thank you so much for watching. I will see you all on Monday or whatever you next pop in.